Hello and welcome back to the Final Fantasy Tactics Arena Zombie Tournament, Losers Bracket Round 2, Match 18, featuring teams from RavenOfRazgriz and Dokurider. RavenOfRazgriz's team, coming directly from the winner's bracket, features 2 squires and 2 paladins. Now Baron has already courteously provided a breakdown of this team for us, so I will only briefly summarize the team's features for our listeners. The team primarily lives and dies by the strength of Seal Evil and Consecration. The squires use Seal Evil, the paladins use Consecration. Meanwhile, Dokurider's team features a healthy mix of physical offense, status ailments, Demi 2, Comet. Dokurider is advancing from the losers bracket after having had these offensive capabilities put through a significant stress test by Andrew. Now, before we begin, I'd like to provide just a brief analysis of each team's vulnerabilities. First, Raven's team. This team is vulnerable to Petrify. Now the Paladins have gold armor, so they're protected from Petrify as well as death, provided that the gold armor is not broken. The Squires have no such protection. And also, critically, Raven's team cannot heal the Petrify status, so once these Squires are petrified, they stay petrified. And then Dokurider's team, it's primarily vulnerable to Petrify and death across the board. Only the Time Mage here can protect from death with the defense run. And because Raven's team is so heavy on Petrify and death, I think that if Raven wins these matches that are to follow, he's going to win very fast. Meanwhile, if Dokurider has a chance of winning, I think what he'll want to do is quickly petrify Raven's squires with this archer, because this archer knows Seal Evil. Now the archer has a bit of a speed advantage, so he'll get first turn, and he also has a range advantage with his longbow, but as we've seen in his previous match with Dokurider, or not, his previous match with Andrew, sorry, the archer sometimes has other things in mind. He loves to use leg aim in particular. And if Dokurider can manage to petrify the squires, he will then have to somehow deal with the paladins, who are very tanky and cannot be petrified. So we will see how this goes. The first match begins at map number 14, the Lionel Castle office. This map is very small, so I anticipate Raven's paladins will have no trouble infiltrating the ranks of Dokurider's team and wreaking havoc with Consecration. So we begin. An early Petrify on the Squire. I think that's going to resolve, as the Paladins will not be in range to mid-charge that Time Mage. But it is a low odds Petrify, so cross our fingers. Misses! Raven breathes a little more easily now. As he jumps up onto that Squire for a little bit of damage. Time Mage follows up with a Comet. Not enough to kill though. Paladins out of range for Consecration, so they finish up Lancer with Maytone instead. Squire moves forward, has his attack blocked. Dokurider's Squire counters, has his attack missing too. Comet will finish off the Squire, so of course the Squire is down for 3 turns. Now Raven's team is a little slow. All units have 8 speed. So his team will take some time to get back up from the death status. We have 1 Squire petrified. And the Paladin moving in. Can't kill the Time Mage, because the Time Mage has that defense ring. Time Mage needs to stay alive, because Dokurider is out of units. Can the Time Mage do it? She's pretty squishy. 1 more hit will do it. Oh, but the Lance is back up. He jumps, hit the Squire, but it won't do much. Blocks second attack so he stays alive, goes for another jump, and finishes what he started. Takes up the Squire. And this ought to do it. Ah, no! The archer gets back up, goes for a don't move. Doesn't take up the Paladin, but will subdue the Paladin, so that the archer will get another turn. And he petrifies the Squire, so that Squire is out. But then so is the archer. But the time mage is back up! Dokurider just will not die. Paladin moving in, chopping the time mage. Stop, misses! 2 more hits ought to do it for the time mage, but launches back up, jumps, hits the paladin. Time mage can't move, she stays where she is, and double don't act! So both of Raven's remaining paladins are don't acted. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, never mind. I thought that both of Raven's squires were petrified, but one of the squires is on Dokurider's team. I see. Alright. So once it jumps up, that squire will go back down, and the gold armor is broken, leaving that paladin vulnerable to petrify now. But they will choose to kill the paladin the old-fashioned way. Raven's final remaining paladin gets to move. He's losing HP very quickly though. I think he has 75 HP left. Yes, he does. What does he do? Out of range for anything substantial, so he goes and hits the time mage. And then he dies. So Dokurider takes the first round by the skin of his teeth. Ah, that first round was very exciting, don't you agree? Raven was just swatting down Dokurider's team like flies at the very beginning, but he just did not have the offense and the speed to deal with that time mage before the Lancer and Archer got back up on their feet. So we'll see how the second round goes. We see at the very beginning, Dokurider's Archer has a tremendous advantage with that longbow. I think he can hit Raven's units from anywhere on the map with that range, and with the high ground. Time mage missing 2 units with haste 2. That's very unfortunate. Going for a low odds petrify and it hits! So right from the very start, Raven has to cope with only 3 units for the rest of the match. Paladins moving in, but their low movement stat not really working in their favor. They need to get within 1 range for consecration. But as this is a large map, they do have some distance to cover before they can do so. Meanwhile, Dokurider keeping himself healthy. Another long-range stop, missing that time. And a comet hits the squire. Paladin going for a chop instead of a consecration, requiring his second paladin buddy to finish the job. And now these paladins will be subjected to the stop status, as stop is being charged on them. Consecration finishing off the squire. Other paladin retreating to a bit of safety. Second paladin blocks a stop. Time mage jumps right back into another status spell. Paladin moving back in. Stop again! Misses twice in a row! This is Raven's chance. What does he go for? I think it's Sumazuku. Canceling both haste and regen. You don't see that skill very often. And now Dokurider once again seeing himself with only 1 unit left standing. But the Lancer gets back up. We've seen this before. The Paladins have a lot of trouble dealing with that Time Mage, even though the Time Mage is squishy. But the Time Mage now gets petrified, leaving only the Lancer alive to be killed by Consecration. But the Squire's back up. Oh my goodness. This is happening again. Not again. Not again, says Raven. He will finish definitively this time. Oh no, the Archer. And he gets shot in the back. Oh, another Time Mage is back. Oh, Raven reeling in his chair. Victory was so close so many times. But the second Paladin is back up. We'll finish off the Archer again. I think the Lancer, yes, Dokurider's Lancer is coming back to life next turn. And here he is. Retreats out of range of the Consecration, goes for a long-range jump for a little bit of damage. Comet will follow up and kill off the Paladin. So, just before, it looked like Raven was going to win. And now it's evenly matched again. Lancer in pain, but he can still jump from far range. And now the Paladin is stopped. Oh my goodness. What a heartbreaker for Raven. To see victory stolen from him in this way. And he's so close to death, so close to winning, but he loses it again. Oh my goodness. Dokurider, you have impressed us. And Raven, what a bitter loss. But I'm afraid to say that your journey ends here. GG to the both of you.